Back to the story. Tom Hardy's character impersonates Robert's godfather. I nearly said father-in-law. Godfather. And then Cobb manages to get like a combination lock from Robert, which I still don't understand what the point of like a combination lock is in, like, because they used a combination lock. Yeah, it's really strange, but we'll just go with it.
You also see that combination pop up all throughout the movie on all various bits and pieces.
Yeah.
Like, you'll see it used in like as a phone number. You'll see it on like the numbers of the rooms in hotel lobbies and stuff like that.
Yeah, in the hallway and stuff.
Yeah, it's all over the shop.
Yeah. So the assailants are closing in on them. So Robert's subconscious is like, oh, don't you bloody dare. And so they decide to jump into Yusuf's van. Tom Hardy at this point, which is what I'm also like, because you were like, Dane was like, how come they don't dream more ridiculous things? Tom Hardy at this point dreams up a bigger gun because he's like, oh, you got to dream a little bigger. And it's like, pew. And it's like, why aren't they dreaming up things the entire time to make...
Dream up a tank.
Oh, yeah. I need a chain gun to mow all these guys down.
Like,
let me get one.
Like, why aren't they going, oh man, I really wish we had like a steel plate door where those guys are going to come in. Just fucking do it.
And they, to that point, Tom Hardy's line is, you mustn't be afraid to dream a little bigger, darling. So, like, why don't they just dream bigger?
Why did they fuck off in this pissy... Yeah.
They have handguns.
Why didn't they, like... Fuck off. Why did they drive off in that pissy little van? Like Dane said, why didn't they drive off in a tank or some sort of armoured vehicle?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
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 Give me a Humvee.
Just have some rocket boots and off you go.
Yeah. Well, the US president, he has that, like, tricked out armour car that they drive around in that looks like a regular car. Why don't you just dream up one of those, Yusuf? God.
But, yeah, you fucking dumb donkey.
Yeah. So in the back of Yusuf's van, the team descends into the second dream layer, which is a hotel lobby, where Ames poses as a female thief to distract Robert for which I still don't get. But I think it was to kind of set up Cobb, because Cobb himself was posing as a security expert and pretends to help Robert by alerting him to the robbery and being like, oh, that chick, she was bloody sexy, but she took your bloody wallet, you silly goose. Leads him to a hotel room upstairs and kind of goes, hey, FYI, you're in a dream. Because they're playing like this kind of move, I don't know, something from their playbook where it's like, oh, okay, this isn't working, we're running out of time, I guess we better let the person we're trying to extract the stuff from know that he is in fact dreaming so that we can get things moving a little faster. So all the while the environment is being warped by the previous dream layer, which is influenced by Yusuf's driving, which I'm going to talk about in a second. So Cobb manipulates Robert into becoming suspicious of the motives of his uncle Peter, which is his godfather, and the three of them sink into a third layer of the dream, which takes place in and around a snow-blanketed fortress. And so, yeah, like I said, I'm wondering, if they're rolling around in this fucking van, like you see it, if they get driven off the road at one point and they roll down a thing, how come that never actually acts as a kick and wakes them back up again? But the kick doesn't actually happen until they drive off a bridge, and then they're like, oh yeah, that's a kick. But it's like, but they literally drove off the road and literally rolled like 3 times and then kept driving. And then not...
yeah. Does a kick have to be water?
I thought it was just like a weightlessness feeling. Like, because it's not actually the hitting the water part, it's the fall that wakes them up. Because like in the other one, Joseph Gordon-Levitt uses an explosion as a kick, so it does, things aren't adding up. I'm no mathematician, but things aren't adding up. So
these dream worlds don't make no sense.
And then none of the other levels are affected by the van rolling around, just the second one. So that also doesn't make any sense, but that's okay. So the team scurries to complete the Inception mission, still pursued by militarized projections from Robert's subconscious. And then, they Yusuf finally crashes off the bridge, and so he's like in a state of like, woo, they're falling. And so he gives the kick, which is the song, too soon. So he gives a sign of the kick too soon. And then they're like, oh shit, so they're falling in slow motion back in the first dream. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is all like floating around, you know, in a state of weightlessness. But on the snow level, in the third level, they're still running around like everything's Gucci. They just are running out of time. So, realizing that they have limited time, Ariadne tells the rest of the team the quickest way to infiltrate the fortress. Arthur scrambles in the second layer to improvise an effective kick in the hotel where Cobb and the others are asleep. And like I said, this has become a zero-gravity environment, and because of the van falling in the first layer. And I'm just wondering, how is he stacking them all together? Like, if you think about, like, you add up all the time, he's probably got, like, 2 minutes, like, between them falling asleep and the weightlessness starting, and then them waking up. Yeah. So in 2 minutes, he found all that wire, he grouped them all together, he just tied them all together, pushed them down the hallway, put them in a fucking elevator, put them in the thing, put explosives on everything, blows one side and then blows the other side. He did that extremely quickly, and he can't even touch the floor. Like,
are we glossing over the best scene in the movie? Is this the corridor fight scene we're discussing?
Oh no, the corridor. Yeah. We're about at the corridor fight scene, because he's like, he spends ages like he's like tying him up, then he pushes him down the hallway, and then he gets in a fight and they're fucking floating there, and then he's fighting and he's running, and that was all practical effects, wasn't it, for most of that fight scene?
Yeah, that was the rotating corridor.
And extensive wire work.
Yeah, it's if like the corridor actually had to bolt everything down and just rotate it. So it was all done without wires and whatnot for Joseph Gordon-Levitt sort of bouncing around from side to side to the walls. But yeah, that was by far my favourite scene in the movie, and I thought the most surreal part of it all. Because obviously there's always one super unique thing with Nolan films. Like, obviously we've got this, like Memento, it's told backwards. You've got Tenet, where the fight scenes are all practical, and they're all done in real time in reverse, which is an incredible thing to achieve.
The Prestige is just a fucking cracker of a movie.
Yeah, but this was just fantastic. Just the actual physical rotating corridor and the floating fight scenes.
That was cool.
It was great.
It was cool.
It's an amazing set piece.
Yeah, must have been the fucking Flash, because he fucking sped through all of that. Because he really only had a couple minutes for all of that to happen before they all had to wake up again. In the third layer, Robert reaches the fortress's strong room. So they've gone through the snow, they've made their way in there, but then Mal shows up again and shoots him. So everything's gone tits up, boys. Cobb thinks the operation is over, but Ariadne convinces him to go one layer deeper in order to save Robert and redeem the mission. And she just really nonchalantly says, like, yeah, just get the defibrillator and revive him, and then we'll be sweet. Like, oh, I'll use that as a kicker when I wake up and... Yeah, whatever. So, and he's like, Mal, oh my god, yeah, Mal has him. Yeah, she took him. It's like, okay, when did this come into play that projections could take people hostage?
That she's a kidnapper now.
Like, how does she exist outside of his, like, consciousness? Like, out of his, you know, she's a dream thing. How has she got her own, like, how? Oh my god.
Yeah, I think the more you think about it, you're like, oh, that doesn't make a lot of sense. The rules of the world unravel a little bit.
And at this point, like, he's also, like, he's been having a bad time. He's coughing up blood and stuff, and in this layer, he finally succumbs to his injuries and dies, which means he goes into limbo. So then Ames decides he's going to put explosive charges around the fortress in order to set off a kick in that layer so that they wake up and go back into the second layer. So Cobb and Ariadne descend into the fourth layer of the dream, which is a crumbling cityscape that Cobb and Mal built together in the 50 years they spent in limbo. Cobb confesses to Ariadne, which is a big pivotal point in the scene that he actually he knew that this mission would work because he actually has used Inception before, and he used it on Mal in Limbo to convince her that Limbo was not real, so that she would agree to kill herself to wake up and be with their children. And that's why she continued to live in the reality and eventually committed suicide, leaving Cobb ridden with guilt because he caused the death of his wife. Did you guys find that? I didn't actually find that as impactful as it probably should have been. I didn't go when that was supposed to be like a big reveal, I feel, and I didn't be like, whoa, that's crazy, that's such a, because I if you think about it, that's really fucked up.
Oh yeah,
that's super fucked up. He's not a nice person. That's a really bad thing to do to somebody. He ruined his wife's life, and he obviously feels bad about it, but I feel like that reveal was kind of overshadowed by everything else that was happening.
Yeah, and we already knew that she had killed herself, and it was a stitch up. It just felt like it felt like it was sort of too much. Ciarin, I didn't really care by that point that it was Leonardo DiCaprio's fault.
No.
Her setting him up to frame him for her murder was enough.
Yeah.
You didn't need that. Oh, it was also his fault.
Yeah.
Because then I'm like, well, I don't feel bad for anybody now.
And I feel like maybe they should have saved. They should have saved that reveal, because we already knew that she killed herself. Maybe they should have saved the reveal that she killed herself to now, so that it would have been more of a oh shit,
Yep.
But
very much so.
It didn't have that I think the intention was for it to be an oh shit moment, but it never actually felt like an oh shit moment to the people watching it, because they had already they already hashed over this already, that she had killed herself and that he was framed for it and stuff like that. So it was just oh yeah, by the way, I remember that conversation that we had 3 dreams ago. Yeah, that was my fault. That's what it felt like. My bad.
Yeah.
So anyway, that twist was a bloody it kind of fizzled. It didn't pop. But I feel like they wanted too many twists. There was too many twists to have an impact, because Christopher Nolan movies always have a fucking banger twist to it. But this one was just too many. Save the big twist to the end instead of giving us a twist in the middle and a twist at the end as well.
Yeah, too many chefs.
But yeah, so in a nearby building, Ariadne and Cobb find Mal and Robert, and Ariadne wakes him up so that he can infiltrate the fortress's strong room. And she does so by they jump off of a building. But she has a gun, so why didn't she shoot at themselves in the head or something? That's all. Okay, I'll just jump off this building. Yeah.
So it's a great question. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, she's got a gun the whole time.
Maybe it's because she needs the kick from falling. I don't know. And also, I'm a little confused about how Mal works. Because why is she still in limbo? Why did she take Robert?
Yeah.
Why does Cobb have control? Does Cobb have control over this? Because it's his subconscious. And so is every time. This is literally what I wrote in my notes. Is every time he talks to Mal just him talking to himself? And couldn't he tell her just to fuck off? Couldn't he just be like, dude, fuck off? I'm done. Or did he have to come to terms with his trauma so that his subconscious would be like, okay, let go now?
Inception. Subtitle, why did this happen?
Yeah. So as the dream world starts to collapse, Cobb tells Ariadne to ride the kicks up through the layers of the dream while he rescues Sato. So he's going to stay behind in limbo, so he's going to die in the dream, so that he goes to limbo to rescue our old mate Ken Watanabe. Cobb then stays behind with Mal in that dream, in the 4th layer of the dream, and is like, you're not real, and I need to let go of you. I can't keep holding on to you like this. And Robert puts in a code in the strong room because he's woken up in that dream, but not the dreams after that, and reveals a large operating room with his dying father inside. Robert's father tells him to live his own life, and so you have to remember this is not actually Robert's father, it's his own subconscious making a projection of his father. So the inception is complete because his subconscious has told him to be his own man, and he can move on and he can make that decision for himself. Cobb searches for...
Yeah.
Yes, good job.
Well done, everybody.
So Cobb searches for Sato in limbo while the others ride the kicks back to reality. So their dreams are done, but what's going to happen to bloody Leonardo DiCaprio? Well, I'll tell you what happens.
Oh my goodness.
You're on the edge of your seats, I can tell. Oh, no. So Cobb washes up on the shore of an unknown beach and is dragged into a giant mansion, just like in the opening scene. And the man that sits across from him is revealed to be Sato, who is now very old in very subpar makeup. This is so many. See what I mean? It's like I always say, Lord of the Rings has so many endings. This fucking movie has so many twists. This is like 3 or 4 twists deep now. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, so Sato, now old, recognizes Cobb as a man from a half-remembered dream. Cobb reminds them of their agreement, and the two suddenly wake up on the passenger airline next to Ariadne, Robert, Ames, Sato, and Yusuf, who have all successfully made it back to reality. And they're all young men now, and they're not all bloody drowny looking and in their fancy outfits.
Yeah,
he's
and
not
Sato's
dying,
not dying.
Cobb arrives in the United States and is greeted by Stephen Miles, Mr. Michael Caine, and he says, "Hello, I'm Michael Caine. Let's go home."
Just like that.
Yeah.
Exactly like that. He also says, "I'm Michael Caine." He doesn't say his character's name. He says, "I'm Michael Caine."
Yeah, and he's
Follow
taken
me.
home to his children. So Cobb arrives home and uses Mal's totem, which is a top that spins indefinitely into a dream, to test if he is indeed in the real world, but he chooses not to observe the result and instead joins his children. And that is Inception.
Bwam! Bwam!
Did we mention the spinning top?
Oh yeah, so this was the big thing that everybody has always talked about. The top, we never actually see it fall, but we do see it jiggle. And that's the end shot of the movie. You never actually do see the top fall over.
Yeah, and it cuts to black early.
Very ambiguous.
Which, I don't know about you guys, I love it. I think it's
Michael
such
Caine.
a good ending. It's
Michael
so
Caine, because he
good.
just doesn't give a fuck anymore, because he's retired now. So his most... He did a movie with Aubrey Plaza recently, and that's his last ever movie. If you guys didn't know, he's actually retired officially.
Oh,
yeah.
And he did a movie with Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah, because obviously you work with
right.
she must have scared the shit out of him. And he was like, I never want to do this again.
Right.
Yeah, it's like a, driving in a car road trip movie with Aubrey Plaza.
Bizarre.
Yeah.
But I'll watch it.
Oh.
Yeah, I would totally watch that movie. But yeah, and he actually, in recent years, he doesn't give a fuck, and he basically has said, oh yeah, Christopher Nolan told me that every time I'm in a scene, it's reality. So, joke's on you, all you guys that couldn't tell if it was all you idiots.
All you idiots.
Me. Hello, it's me. Michael Caine.
I'm Michael Caine.
And it was reality. Actually, no,
Yeah, I did read that quote, and I was like, that's so funny. Because Christopher Nolan's always like, yeah, we wanted to leave it
And he's
ambiguous. Because you don't know, because you want... Yeah, Cobb's chosen his family over knowing, if it's, if he's in a dream or not. But then Michael Caine's like, oi, nah, I don't do dreams.
Was Michael Caine in Tenet?
I don't know. Do you want me to Google it? I'll Google it.
Oh, God. I don't remember
I can't
that
remember, because
movie,
then maybe he could just give us some clarification on what happened in that movie.
Well, I just Googled it.
Yeah, he is. He's in it for 2 minutes.
I just Googled it, and then the first thing that came up, is Michael Caine has no idea what Christopher Nolan's Tenet is about. And then it says, the byline is not even Michael Caine knows anything about Nolan's upcoming espionage action film Tenet, and he's featured in the cast.
That's great.
I love that.
So, what did you guys think of the movie?
I mean, I think the whole dream thing could easily be scrapped and just have a nice, fun espionage thriller.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously the surreal stuff's quite cool, and it's a pretty convoluted movie. Yeah. I don't know, like, watching it again, I would just keep forgetting that they were dreaming in different levels, and I just was just watching a globe-trotting spy thriller. Because, the...
James Bond on acid.
Yeah. Like, the surreal stuff was... I know we've already explained why there wasn't much of it, but when there was, it was too few and far between. It was like, oh, yeah, we're in a dream. That's right.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it would have been cool if they played with that more. Like, I know you guys aren't huge Marvel fans, but have you seen, like, Doctor Strange?
Nah.
He does reality bending, pretty much. And so, like, the world can fold in on itself and, like, all these things, and trains run up walls at weird angles and all this other stuff. But, like, some cool elements of that would have been cool in Inception, but I don't know. I guess, he's trying to ground it in somewhat of a reality.
Yeah,
like,
it makes it hard. It makes it unbelievable. Like, it makes it easy to question everything that's happening when there's reality to go back to.
Exactly.
Just watching it again, because it had been quite some time since I had watched it. When I was rewatching, I was like, fuck, I can't wait to watch The Matrix 4, because it's obviously... There's a lot of Matrix elements in there. And I love The Matrix growing up, but I just wish I was watching The Matrix instead of Inception. Because like I said earlier, it just felt like it just hadn't held up after all these years. The Dark Knights will hold up forever, because they're just this brand new spin on this superhero. That we'd stepped away from the campy, glorified Batman to the really dark, brooding, miserable stuff. I was like, great, that's such a fresh take on what we've seen so much of already. So, I don't know.
Your partner, Dane, I was speaking to her before this, and she had the best take of this movie that I have ever heard. And it was it's The Matrix meets Titanic. And I think that's amazing.
Yeah, I'd go with that. I don't know. I do think it's quite... Even just trying to think about planning this movie is a nightmare. I do think it's amazing that the movie actually... It works. Like, even if we don't love all the elements, it does kind of make sense for most of it. And, like, there's some really, really good stuff in there. An incredible cast. I don't know. It's good. It's a good movie.
If you watch it the first time and you just enjoy it for what it is, I think. Like I said before, if you don't think too hard about it, it's really easy to enjoy this movie. But if you're a little nasty boy like Dane and you watch it and you go,
I would love to see Ryan as actual, like, a proper, like, a paid movie critic, and it would just be the review of, I don't know.
I don't know what to make of this. But
then you don't want to like insult anybody, so you still give it like 4 stars.
Ryan will be the most polite movie critic ever anywhere. Like, everything be rated top of its game.
Everything is a 5 star.
And then there's a sincere apology at the end for not giving it 5 stars.
I do like it as well. I like it when you're really deep in the dreams, you kind of forget which is like reality, like which is the real world. Yeah. And like as you're coming back, you're like, oh yeah, the van, that's the real one, obviously. And then you get kicked out of that, and you're like, oh shit, okay, it's the plane. That's where we started. Like you get a little bit lost in it, which I think is kind of cool because it kind of shows like what happened to Cobb and Mal.
Yeah,
as well.
They got lost.
It's like I got a bit confused. Because you get a bit lost in the worlds, especially when you're 4 dreams deep by the end of it.
100%.
Yeah.
Totally understandable. That must be like a surreal feeling. Like I can't imagine that ever happening to me.
I do think it's interesting too that like pretty much if you break it down to its most simple level, it's a heist film.
Yeah.
It's just the most confusing and convoluted and otherworldly heist film. Like
I love heist films.
Give me the Italian job any day of the week.
Where are the Mini Coopers? Come on.
Ocean's 11, that makes sense.
I hope you'd want the original Italian job and not Mark Wahlberg's Mark Wahlberg job.
Marky Mark.
No Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch in a Mini Cooper, thank you.
No Marky Mark ever, please.
Well, boys, I've got some very fun facts for you. Would you like to hear some?
I love some.
Oh my god, I would.
So, we've mentioned the big wah that Hans Zimmer uses throughout the film and is like, you know, a cornerstone of the movie, I guess. And it ended up being like something that everybody fucking used in movies and film trailers ever since then.
Yeah.
I think it still happens today.
Yeah.
Like, I swear you still hear like a blah every now and then in a film trailer as the title comes up.
So
It's
Like-
such a strange, iconic sound too. Like, you got the Jurassic Park theme song and Darth Vader's Imperial March, and then just this someone that's just held on to a car horn.
well, I'll tell you. Do you want to know where that sound actually comes from?
Please.
So the bois is actually a slowed down version of Non je ne regrette rien by Edith Piaf, which is the song that counts down the kicks.
The kick song.
So the time dilation stretches out the timing of the music, and Hans Zimmer reflected that in the score because he is a clever boy.
He's
And
a clever
then,
boy.
Speaking of that Edith Piaf song, which I'm not going to attempt to say again, sorry, just rearranged myself in my seat. So Nolan chose this song specifically because its lyrics explore the effect of memories on the psyche and how destructive not letting go of painful memories and heartbreak can have on one's subconscious. So in the original French lyric, it says, "I regret neither the good things done to me nor the bad things." And then that translated into French is "Ni la bien comme fait ni la ma." Well, mal. But yes, mal. And the last word, mal, translates to, kind of loosely translate to bad in several languages. And that is where he got the name for Marion Cotillard's villain character, Mal. And she represents a character who is a painful memory who aims to literally destroy Cobb's subconscious. So I thought that was a really interesting fact. That, yeah. Fun little name
Well, there
play
you go.
there, Mr. Clever Boy Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, wow.
Do you guys have any fun facts?
Do I?
Tell me. Oh, wait.
Ryan, would you like to go,
can I just
or shall
interrupt? Can I just interrupt? So it was just about the music again. Sorry, Hans Zimmer wrote the music simultaneously to filming. So like while they were filming, he was writing the music, and he wanted to reflect the nostalgia and sadness to match Cobb's feelings throughout the film. But did you know that it was nominated for an Academy Award for the original Best Score category, and it lost to the score for The Social Network? That's fucking bullshit.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
Yeah.
I can't even.
Okay.
I didn't even. Did the Social Network even
That's
have
what
a
I mean.
score?
It's not memorable whatsoever.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
What a crazy thing to lose to.
All I remember from that bloody Oscars year was that The Social Network lost Best Picture to The King's Speech.
I love the
And
King's
everyone's
Speech.
like, are you joking?
I love the King's Speech.
I know, but The Social Network is a masterpiece.
But
Ugh.
the King's Speech is a fucking good movie, man. It's so good. I watched.
It is a
when
good
it's
movie.
raining, I watch that movie. Like, I don't know if that makes me a nerd. I just love Colin Firth.
Oh, he's fantastic.
He is.
Oh, well, Dano, what facts you got, mate?
I've just a lot of the facts Ciarin's touch on. I also had, but I had a couple she hadn't stolen from me.
Oh, shit.
So, originally, and this is probably the most disgusting fact, is that this movie was going to be shot in 3D. Remember when everyone was all hyped for 3D?
Oh, I would have loved it when
Yuck.
Leo pointed at me in the cinema in 3D.
Remember
He was like,
when?
we're going to incept you! And I was like, ah!
Remember when everybody was really into going to IMAX for everything? And then it's been under construction. Everybody's been like in Sydney, the one IMAX theater we
Yeah,
have, and everybody's
the
kind of
biggest
like,
one in the world.
everyone's like, you know what? We're actually totally fine with that. We do not need to go see everything in 3D. Thank you. Anyway,
We're all getting old. Our eyes can't handle it.
nah. I went and saw some. I think I saw Toy Story 3, Toy Story 2. I saw one of the Toy Stories at school in the IMAX theater, and a girl fainted because of the motion sickness, because of how big the screen is, and motion
Yeah.
sickness is caused by peripheral movement outside of your peripheral vision, and your brain can't handle it. And yeah, so she went to go get up and she fucking well, she was just
Damn.
like bleh, and fainted. And
Yeah,
you know
damn.
how sloped that IMAX theater seating is. It was
Yeah,
not
they are steep.
It was not a fun time. She was okay though.
Yeah, damn.
Well, obviously, like Ciarin and I, you and I are a couple of blind buds with our great big thick glasses. So wearing 3D glasses
I hate it.
on top of it just gives me
I
a
hate
massive
it.
fucking headache. Like, I can't even play like the Oculus Rift or anything because it's too
man.
contrasting.
Oculus Rift doesn't work for me because I have
Yeah.
astigmatism. So, and my glasses are really thick. I'm like a -6, I think now. So I cannot see in an Oculus Rift. I've never been able to use one. And what was the other thing? Oh,
Well,
the
I'll
only
be hanging out in the metaverse on my own. so.
yeah. See you never.
See you losers, never.
But yeah, the only time 3D has ever actually worked for me was at Universal Studios in Japan because they actually had ones that went actually over my whole glasses, and I was like, whoa, 3D is sick.
Well, I've got some more trivia. Apparently, Michael Caine's in a whole heap of Christopher Nolan films because Nolan considers him to be good luck.
He is very
Oh.
lucky. I'm Michael Caine. I'm good luck.
There's a little bit of
I
trivia.
played a spy in lots of movies.
Do you know what would have made this film drastically different if this was cast differently? Both Brad Pitt and Will Smith were up for playing Dominic Cobb.
Brad Pitt I could see. Will Smith, no fucking way.
I think Will Smith is one of the most overrated
Yes,
actors of the world.
100%.
They're weird picks too.
Very strange. I agree. Brad Pitt I can see, but Will Smith, he'd just be wooing all over the place. Like, woo, another dream. Yeah. And
That's the kick song.
finally,
Get jiggy with it.
finally, my dear friends, all the major characters who we meet in the movie, the first letter of all their character names is an acronym. So you got like Dominic Cobb, and Eames, and Arthur, and Maul, and Sato, and all that. If you rearrange all the major characters, the first letters from all their names, it says Dreams Pay.
That's the
Oh my
shit.
God.
That is a really shit.
That's so
That-
dumb.
That is I thought it was going to be something way better than that.
Nah, that's a great little bit of trivia.
Nah.
Fuck.
It says Nolan rocks with an X.
I would have liked that way more. Like, what? I wish you didn't tell me that fact because I am so disappointed it wasn't Nolan Rocks.
Yeah, that's my last bit of trivia.
That's okay. I've got a few that are kind of fun.
Hopefully, it's nothing but up after that fact.
Yeah, so Nolan had actually been trying to work with Leo for years, but was unable to get him on any of his projects. But Leo signed on because he was intrigued by the concept and thought the script was really well written and comprehensive, but he didn't feel the emotional journey of the character was strong enough. So him and Nolan worked together to make sure that Cobb's emotional journey was the driving force of the movie.
Yeah, cool.
I was like, that's pretty cool. That's pretty awesome. That Leo was like, yeah, I like this, but let's change this up a little bit.
Yeah, let's make it a
Let's
little
get
bit
this
better.
going.
You're right.
Other than that, in Japan, when the film is screened on TV, there are numbers shown in the corner of the screen to tell the audience which level of the dream the scene takes place in.
That's
Which I
cool.
think is adorable.
I feel like I need that.
That would help.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, I love that. The only other one I have is Chris Nolan has 6 movies in the top 250 movies on IMDb.
That's pretty
which
sick.
is pretty damn impressive.
Good on him.
My other little bit I wanted to touch on. Have you guys heard the theory about Mal and Cobb's totem at all?
No.
No.
Okay. So strap in, everybody. I don't think it's a very well thought out theory, but it kind of makes a bit of sense at points. Yeah, so Cobb's totem in the movie is played as the spinning top, which is what he shows Ariadne and uses throughout the film to test whether he is dreaming or not. But this totem was originally his wife's, which she came up with the idea of totems, and the audience understands that. And at the end of the film, when the team finishes the mission, Cobb returns home, he spins the top on the table and looks up and sees his kids and no longer cares if he's in a dream or not. But what if that's not actually Cobb's token? People have wondered if, since that is Mal's token, it can't also be Cobb's token. But his actual totem is his wedding ring. Because apparently you can see Cobb wearing his wedding ring when he's in a dream because he's still with Mal. But in reality, he's not.
See, he did what I said. You have the totem when you're not dreaming, or vice versa.
So this idea is actually supported by the ring being an object that could have very specific characteristics, such as the weight and the shape of it. And it would have certainly been only Cobb, would have touched it. He would be the only one who would know what it would feel like and what weight and shape it would have. But what's interesting is, even if the ring wasn't Cobb's real totem, this idea helps to give more clarity to the ending, as he's not actually wearing it in the final scenes, but his hand is obscured in the last shot. So who knows?
Who knows? Well, Michael Caine knows, because he fucking burst that
Michael
bubble.
Caine. I was in the real world this whole movie.
What the fuck is a dream? I got told this was a normal movie.
I'm Michael Caine.
So, do we have any reviews?
Yes.
Yes.
Shall I jump in? I've got a 5-star and I've got a 1-star. So my 5-star from The Batman. So I think there's some bias.
Bit of
here.
bias, coming into that.
One of the best films of the entire century. A superbly crafted, mind-bending, action-packed, chilling thriller and suspenseful movie. I recommend it to every movie goer and to the fans of Christopher Nolan. It's one of his best, if not the best. So that's a 5-star.
That's a definitely Nolan fanboy.
Yeah. And then I have a 1-star from DJ Michelangelo. What a disaster. And also, at first I thought this was about Tenet. I know we rag on Tenet a lot, but fuck, I hate Tenet. What a disaster. The dialogue in this movie was inaudible, just mumbling the words that were drowned out by the overly loud music and show-off sound effects. I don't know what kind of production house okayed the audio engineering on this movie, but it was completely unsuited for home viewing. Maybe it sounded okay in the theatre. Then again, the whole movie was a dumpster fire. 1 star.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That was intense.
I genuinely think that he's confused with Tenet there, but I found it in the Inception reviews, so who knows?
You can hear, I think, every bit of dialogue in Inception. Tenet, you could maybe hear 10%.
Well, I mean, I only found that review because it was basically the only 1 star that I could find of it, because as much as we've said into a negative, a lot of people love this movie. But yeah, it was in the Inception reviews.
Do you think Nolan will release a director's cut of Tenet where he just turns the music down so you can hear what's happening?
I fucking hope so.
It's part of the mystery.
All right, Ryan, mate, you go with your reviews.
Okay. Well, I've only got a good one. This is the 5-star. So this endlessly fascinating swirl of a film could have come from Nolan, who blends the cerebral twistiness of Memento with the spectacular action of his Batman mega hit, The Dark Knight. Which, I think is pretty accurate. I do like some of the elements from it that he kind of learnt from Memento, and some of the action set pieces are pretty decent in this one as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. 100%. I do love that spinny hallway scene. That's awesome. So cool.
Yeah, it's pretty unreal. Yeah. What about you, CC?
Well, I've got a 1-star and a 5-star.
Oh, yeah.
So I've got never seen anything like that. This is perfection. Oh my god, am I dreaming? 10 out of 10. So that was my good review.
Incredible.
My 1-star. So pseudo-intelligent, boring movie with non-attractive actors, except for Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who is so talented and was put in this trash by mistake, as he deserves better roles. That was a real torture to watch this to the end. 1 star.
What?
I'm not even joking. That's what it says.
What even is that review?
So yeah,
Joseph Gordon-Levitt is probably the least attractive
Yeah.
man in the movie.
I was going to say, there is Tom Hardy and Leo in this movie.
Literally, verbatim, it says, except for talented Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who was put in this track by mistake as he deserves better roles. I'm not lying to you. That's what it says.
What the fuck?
Maybe
Maybe they were confused
Joseph
about who
Gordon-Levitt.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt is.
Maybe Joseph
Maybe they
Gordon-Levitt
thought
thought
it
he
was
would
someone
have...
else.
Maybe Joseph Gordon-Levitt thought he would have more screen time and was like, hey, you know what? I'm going to write a review.
Yeah. It's his review.
Do you guys have any recommendations of
Ooh.
if someone likes a certain movie, they might like a little bit of Inception in their life?
Well, I pretty much just wrote down if you like any of Christopher Nolan's earlier movies or, you know, something like The Prestige, which is all dark, spooky, big old twist at the end, you might like this. I pretty much just have all of Christopher Nolan's work written down.
Yeah, nice. What about you, Dana?
I've already mentioned it, but if you like this, you'd like The Matrix. 'Cause it's,
Ooh.
like obviously in The Matrix, when they're in their sleeping in their weird slimy pods and everything, and then they're running around in their little dream worlds.
Yeah.
Heaps of surreal shit happening all the way through. So, that's what would be my recommendation if you enjoyed this.
Yeah, nice.
Good recommendation.
I was going to say, mine's a little bit different. Mine was, if you like, Shutter Island, which
Hell
is
yeah!
Martin Scorsese movie with Leo.
Oh, I love
It's
that movie.
kind of like Inception. It's probably a little bit more intense. There's a pretty strong emotional core to it that's quite similar to Inception, and it's pretty twisty. What the hell's going on? Yeah,
Shutter Island
So,
is
yeah,
one
if
of
you-
my favourite movies ever.
It's good. It's got some good spooks in it.
Yeah.
yeah,
it's so
it's a
good.
little bit scary at
'Cause
times.
I think if you guys if the listeners, hello listeners, we never talk to you, but there are actually listeners. If you could see the calendar that is set out of what we have picked out for our little boys to watch, pretty much all of mine are horror movies. I think this is the one exception, and it's just Shutter Island. It's scary. It's a mystery. Martin Scorsese made it, so you know it's fucking beautiful to look at. Ugh.
Yeah. What have you guys been watching, or what have you guys been doing with your time?
I actually started watching the animated Cowboy Bebop for the first time.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, I'm not much. I've never been much of an anime fan, but my partner Ciarin's been wanting me to watch it for forever and a day, and then we finally sat down, and I'm hooked. I've been smashing through the episodes. I'm loving it.
Oh man, I've got a lot of anime to suggest to you, my boy.
Please do.
I live in anime land.
Please do.
It's so good.
I don't really know much about Cowboy Bebop. Have you started watching the Netflix one, the live action?
Apparently, it's a dumpster fire.
No.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Well, I wanted to watch the original before we even gave it a crack.
Yeah.
But also, tell you what I started watching last night. Season 2 of Tiger King.
Oh my god.
I watched all of that.
Is there
in
actually
one day.
anything to that story?
Yes, there's so much more that we don't know what was happening while Tiger King was happening. Watch it. I watched all of it in a day.
Tiger King?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the new one.
Fuck.
Season 2.
Season 2. Bloody compelling shit right there.
It's actually good. Okay. Because I was like, what the
Yeah.
hell are they going to do with this thing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
'cause
not
Joe's
like,
in jail.
You know how they made Making a Murderer and then everybody went crazy, so they made Making a Murderer Season 2, and that was literally just like, yeah, we're still figuring it out, but, you know, we're trying real hard.
We're doing
It's
our
not
best
like
over
that.
here.
They actually have stuff that's going on that people didn't really know about, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
very, very interesting telly.
Yeah, nice.
What about you, Ryan? What have you been watching?
Well, I watched a movie that I've been waiting to see for quite a long while. I watched Wonder Woman 1984.
What's the verdict?
And if you know anything about that movie, it is fucking dog shit. It is absolutely terrible. And this is coming off someone, like, I was actually a huge fan of the first one. I loved it. I thought it was such a good movie. Yeah, loved the first one. I thought it was like the perfect hero origin story. And then this new one, holy God, it is fucking weird. It's a nightmare of a movie. It's so funny too. It like starts and it's like Patty Jenkins said she paid homage to like the original Superman from the 70s. And like you get that. But then the movie just goes so freaking weird. It's all about wishes. Oh. What? I kind of want us to watch it, but I don't know if I could watch it a second time.
Oh my God.
It's so weird. It's such a bad movie. It's so funny.
Yeah. I've read enough about it to hear that it's universally disliked.
Yeah. And it goes for 2.5 hours. And it's so long. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. So yeah, don't watch that is all I would say. Watch the first Wonder Woman, but just don't watch the second one. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
There's some very, very dumb things that happen in it. Yeah, cool.
Well, I watched the new Paranormal Activity, Next of Kin.
Oh my God, so spooky, is it?
Oh God. Look, all I can say is they're flogging a dead horse with this franchise. And the horse is like a skeleton at this point. Like, it's not even a fucking horse carcass.
When was the last Paranormal Activity?
They've been making like random ones for a while. Like there's the marked ones, you know. And yeah, like from where we started, where Paranormal Activity kind of gave resurgence to the found footage genre and was quite innovative. It's really just gone downhill, and it's kind of like they saw, Ari Aster is making all of these bloody cult themed movies. I guess we better jump on the bandwagon, but do we have the budget? No. Let's make this fucking piece of shit movie.
What dead franchise can we bring back? Oh, cool. Paranormal Activity.
There was one scary part, which you guys can figure out for yourselves. I really do think we should watch it as a little group one day. Maybe after we watch the first Paranormal Activity. Ryan and I will have a blog post out by the time this episode is out about Paranormal Activity. A couple of them actually, if you guys want to check out our website. Because
it's probably been said enough on the show, but me and Ciarin are very big found footage fans, and Paranormal Activity is pretty special to me. I definitely want to write that blog post.
100%. Well, boys, shall we wrap it up?
I think so. What are we watching next week? Whose choice is it?
I'd love to tell you, Ryan, we're watching The Terminator from 1984, buddy.
Oh my goodness.
Jeez,
Pete.
In my top 5 films of all time.
Does it hold up still, Dane?
Oh, absolutely, Ryan. It is still phenomenal.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah.
That is what I like to hear.
I can't wait.
Alrighty. Well, thank you for watching a movie with me, boys. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in to this week's episode of Ticket Stubs. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, or leave us a review. We also want to know what you thought of the movie. If you've been watching along for any of the movies with us, send us a message at ticketstubspod@gmail.com or head to ticketstubspodcast.com/contact to tell us what you really think, and we will read it out in our next episode. You can find all the links in our show notes, and I love you boys very much. Wow, crickets, thanks.
Sorry, I thought there was more.
Yeah, I was waiting for more. You just kind of dropped off.
I love you guys too. Sorry, Ciarin, that was so awkward.
Right.
Wow, leave me hanging. Fuck me, right?
Leave her on red, Dan.
It's what, like fucking 8 years of friendship, and this is all I get?
Wow. We're natural.
8 years, my God.
Yeah, we were little babies back when we first met each other. Well, except for you, Dane. You've always been fucking old.
You're as old as Ken from the start of the movie. That's you.
Your prosthetics are a bit better, though.
Same way.
Your prosthetics are much better.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, my dear friends. Well, yeah.
I'll see you next
What a
week.
monster of a time we've had.
Awesome.
But yeah, I'll talk to you soon when we talk about good old Terminator.
Hell yeah. Bye, guys.
Hooroo.
All right, bye, my friend.
Bye.
To you.